Alright, ladies and gentlemen, I'm your host, Chris Crenshaw, and we are live from the 704 once again for episode 207 of the A15 Exchange. And listen, I know, I said this was the last time we'll listen. Alright, listen. Move got postponed for a week. So next week, new set. Alright, new set next week. What else? What are the housekeeping? Oh yeah, y'all are going crazy right now, okay? Y'all are going obliterated 2,000, okay? Absolutely obliterated 2,000 subs this past weekend. So much love, much appreciated. If you're keeping up with the podcast or you're here for the reactions, whatever it is, much appreciated. Thanks for all of the love. It's great motivation to keep, pursuing this creative outlet of mine. So yeah, much appreciated. 2K, man. 2K in less than a year, I think. Less than a year from when we hit 1K. So yeah, super crazy. But yeah, super cool. Super cool. But yeah, like I said, we got business to attend to. We have business to attend to. The game is in disarray, and it's not because Drizzy's about to drop, all right? It's the All-Star break in both the MLB and WNBA, so we have some recaps going on there. Jake Paul fought another non-boxer. We will discuss that to kick off, and oh, yeah, we got UFC coming up, a major UFC event coming up this weekend. Saudi Arabia, Bilal versus Leon finally going on. So we'll be talking about that, too. I think that's, 3 or 4? I can check in a second. But, yeah, plenty to talk about, and boy, oh boy, what happened in the Hungarian Grand Prix. Woohoo! Ooh-wee. Okay, yeah, that's going to be... We'll have to debrief that one. All right, we're going to have to debrief that one. But yeah, full episode. As always, remember to like, share, and subscribe if you guys are enjoying the content. And as always, everything you're looking for in this life can be found in my description. So timestamps, which are also embedded in the video, can be found in the description as long-form content. Go ahead, skip to whatever you want, even if you want to skip past me talking here in the intro. And my social media links if you want to follow me there for, you just want to, see what the boys doing throughout the week, You can look and, see there. So, without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, let's talk about the fight game. All right, let's talk about the fight game. And oh boy, Jake Paul. I feel like I don't want to say the hype has died down around Jake, but it's certainly not as much of a big deal when he's fighting as it was at first. It was Jake is venturing in. Now it's okay, and maybe some of that's because he's done it for so long now, but it hasn't really, I didn't really feel the same hype. Also, because especially when he's facing somebody like Mike Perry, I feel like this finish is it's a foregone conclusion. And I'm going to be honest, he should have finished this within the first 3 rounds. There is no reason this fight went 6 rounds. Absolutely no reason. Jake was clearly straight up a better boxer than Mike Perry. He also had a 20, 30-pound weight advantage. He was clearly the better man yesterday. Clearly. He was outclassing him and he had the strength advantage. There is no reason he didn't finish him off in 3 rounds. But it seemed like he got gassed after 1 or 2, trying to finish him there. Couldn't finish him because Perry, of course, known for having a little bit of a chin, being able to, be durable. But still, no reason for this fight to go 6 rounds, but it does. And Jake does get his finish, gets the TKO, ref stoppage. But still, again, this is not a great high profile. Now, again, I also want to say, while giving some grace, the same grace that I provided Jake throughout, I've been honestly, possibly, maybe even defending him at times with some of his early career, opposition choices. Because in boxing, bar people like Loma, who just went gold medalist and then, all right, I'm getting straight to business. A lot of these records, you see 19, 20-0, and the first 10 fighters are obviously nobodies or people regionally and, have all their cans. All right, they're cans. We call them cans in the game. All right, so I'm not horrifically upset if Jake is truly, pursuing, which I guess we can actually say at this point, to be a professional boxer and to be somebody of credit, that he's fighting, people from all over because it's, a can. All right, it's a can. It's the same thing that a regular professional boxer would do. But I don't know how much it really does for his skills. I'm not going to lie for him to, I could see him getting better. But again, you're facing Mike Perry. He's an MMA fighter / bare knuckle guy. And he's much lower weight class than you. It was never in question. This fight was never in question. Never, ever in question. I didn't really care to see it. Even though I watched it, I didn't really care for it. I didn't really care for it. It was expected. Jake did what he was expected to do. His adamancy to face Mike Tyson, I still don't understand. Mike Perry even makes more sense than facing Mike Tyson. There is nothing Jake gets out of besides a lot of money and whatever he's going to get paid to fight Mike. There's nothing he gets out of fighting a 58-year-old, fresh off of a major health scare, Mike Tyson. What is the game here? What is the game? You knocked out Mike Tyson at 58 off of him nearly dying. What is the big woo? All right, that's a notch on my belt. Like, what? Like, if it's, just say it's a cash grab. Honestly, I would respect Jake more if he just said, yo, they're paying me so much money to do this. Netflix is paying me so much ungodly amounts of money to do this. I would respect Jake's decision to fight Mike more. But you just straight up, listen, I want to fight Mike. 58-year-old Mike Tyson. Grandpa Tyson. And you going to post a little highlight reel of him, boxing in a vacuum to nobody. And you'll be like, oh, Mike still got it. No. You're going to beat up a grandpa. You're going to beat up an old man. And it does nothing. That's worse than beating up just an MMA fighter. I'd rather you keep just fighting these maybe non-boxers, but adjacent still combat sports, veterans. That makes more sense if you're still trying to build up your record or whatever, build up your skills. But fighting a Mike Tyson, I honestly can't respect. I can't respect it. As much as I've given respect to Jake and defended him, like I said earlier, with some of these choices of opponents, I can't respect fighting Mike Tyson, especially after what happened earlier this year to cancel it the first time, because we were supposed to be talking about it on today's episode. But yeah, don't know why he wants to fight Tyson. Poatan, okay, is another interesting one. Very, very interesting. Now, I'm not going to say Jake can't win that, which probably sounds a little bit crazy because I said Poatan versus anybody on the planet. But boxing is a little bit different. However, with that said, Poatan was a kickboxer. And I feel like Jake could get his head taken off with the left hook. That left hook will sleep anybody, and especially Jake. So I actually am down for that. Sure, fight Alex in a boxing ring. Now, of course, that takes out, kickboxing and boxing is still very different. That takes out, of course, the legs aspect, the other aspects of MMA that, have made Alex so great. But still, I wouldn't be mad about seeing that. Fair play if Jake beats Poatan in a boxing ring. It still would be, boxing, not MMA. But it'd be very interesting to see if Jake is very hittable, if he can survive a left hook of doom. Because I don't think that would happen. I don't think. But, Alex FaceTimed him in the ring, so we'll see if that happens. I'd watch that more than I want to watch you fight Mike Tyson, Jake. So, yeah, Jake does what Jake does. But, I mean, again, you get no respect for fighting Tyson in October whenever you're going to do that. Also on that card, Amanda Serrano, the actual legitimate legend on that card, did handle business. I'm not even going to name her opponent. She beat her in like 2 rounds. But she did set up the fight versus Katie Taylor, so we will be talking about that. I'm assuming that's probably going to end up on the Tyson card. Honestly, she might get her own main event. Honestly, I feel like Serrano Taylor, I think it main evented last time. And Jake did the co-main event. But I feel like that could do its own card, because that's, 2 of the greatest women's boxers of all time doing the rematch. The first fight was great. And now in the swan songs of their careers one last time. I think that sells itself. So yeah, Serrano versus Katie coming up. Other things that happen over in Japan. Oh my goodness, they run bantamweight. Nakatani, smoked. And I want to get this name right. Astrolobia, smoked him. A vicious body shot. And that sets up Junto versus whoever he wants. Now, all 4 champions, conveniently enough, in bantamweight are all Japanese. So technically, if he wants to go undisputed, he could go and knock out all of them. But he did specifically call out the AOTYs. Both the monster himself, who's in the class above Junto right now, and also called out Takuma, excuse me. So he called out the monster and his brother. We'll see what happens there. I think he's facing either one of the AOTYs, which I'm here for. All right, both of them are great. The monster obviously is arguably pound for pound king, but his brother is also still very, very good. Obviously a world champion. That even with all the world championships, you don't become world champion by accident. You got to have some skills, and he's proven he's got some skills. He's not just a nepotism brother that got it. He's not the Thanasis. This is not a Thanasis Giannis situation in boxing. But going to be very interesting. But yeah, Nakatani, he's a monster. One of them ones for sure. And I would love to see whoever he fights next. That's definitely going to be a must watch if that is, viewable in the States. What else happened? Oh yeah, we had a UFC card, another UFC Vegas, whatever random number UFC wants to claim on it at the Apex. Main event had some jockeying in a strawweight for the women. Amanda Lemos, former title contender no longer. All right, Wiener put her in a gruesome armbar and nearly ripped her arm off in round 2. So that's how that went. But she does want Whaley next. We'll see what happens there. But yeah, I'd be here for it. And you know what? I won't count Wiener out in that. I won't count her out, even though Zhang Weili is obviously future Hall of Famer. But I won't count Wiener out, especially with how dominant she was against Lemos. I think that's the fight that Dana makes next anyway. But, of course, this weekend we do have UFC. I want to say it's 304. I am going to check right now live here in person just to make sure that it is UFC 304. But I'm pretty sure that it is, in fact, UFC 304. All right. We are back in Dubai, right? I believe this is a Dubai card. So, yeah, we are back in Dubai for this one. And boy, oh boy, oh boy. All right. Headlined, of course, by the long-awaited welterweight rematch between Bilal Muhammad and Leon Edwards. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm one of those people that thinks it didn't really matter if what happened in the, no contest happened in the first one with the eye poke. It was the eye poke, right? Yeah. Leon poked Bilal's eye and Bilal was like, and then, okay, hold on. But regardless, I don't think that Bilal was winning that fight. However, Bilal has gotten a lot better. All right, I will pay Bilal his respect. And he deserves this. He earned this title shot. All right, make no mistake about it. As much as people like to, moan and complain about his style, about Bilal's character, whatever you want to say, he has earned this shot as being one of the best welterweights in the world. But with that said, I still think Rocky's got it. I think Rocky avenges the no contest and what could have been a win for him. I think he beats Bilal here. I think this is going the distance, which should be no surprise. I don't know what the fight odds are for this, but it's probably, y'all can tell me, something crazy, okay? Probably something crazy for a decision. You probably can't make any money off it being a decision because it's just one of the most obvious decision matches in history. But yeah, Bilal, Rocky, I got Rocky. I think Leon gets it done. I don't think he's knocking out Bilal or anything. I know Bilal's finishing him. I think it goes the distance. And you know what? Bilal might make it interesting. It's probably going to get booed, though. I'm not going to lie. We might get a boring, we might get some boring chants, but it is what it is. It had to happen. You couldn't stall Bilal. That did not mean to rhyme there. But you just hold off Bilal. He earned it, like I said. So we'll see what happens. But that is the main event. The co-main event, however, is Tom Aspinall versus Curtis Blades for the interim heavyweight championship because John Jones is still running around trying to fight Stipe. But the true heavyweight king, in my opinion, Tom Aspinall, taking on Curtis Blades. Blades gets another heavyweight chance. Not going to say he can't do it, but especially with his power and his finishing ability, there's always a chance. But Tom Aspinall is just that guy. All right, I think he's the best of the crop right now. He's the cream of the crop, and I don't think Curtis is going to be able to take it off him. But he does have he has a puncher's chance. All right, he does have a puncher's chance. I won't rule him out, but I would take Tom in that one. Bobby Green, now going by the name King Green, is taking on Paddy Pimblett, who has once again gone under another Christian Bale-esque body transformation for this fight. So, yeah, we will see what happens there. All right, Bobby Green is a bad mother sometimes, and he can make some happen. Paddy also can make something happen, so to speak. So I think that also has a really good chance of being fight of the night. I think that would be really exciting between Paddy and Bobby King Green. So we will see. All right, we will see. A lot of we will sees for UFC 304. I don't really know how to feel about it. It's one of those kind of up in the air. We're starting to get back to the status quo, I think, in terms of cards after how stacked the, up to 300 and 300 cards were. We're kind of finding that balance again. So, yeah, we'll see what happens. But, yeah, Bilal, Leon, Sue. We'll see if Leon can, finish the story or if Bilal can get his revenge. With that said, ladies and gentlemen, it is time for the MLB. We have reached the All-Star points of the MLB. And listen, All-Star game. Duran wins MVP. Fifth Red Sox to do it. He had a home run. He had a good game. Yada, yada, yada. That's all I'm going to say. I feel like the AL has been whooping up on the NL. I don't know the actual numbers on that, but I feel like the American League has been whooping up on the National League recently in the All-Star game. Don't quote me on that, but I feel like they've won the last couple ones that we've talked about. I think the NL has had like one or two in the last 5 years, but I feel like the AL's had the advantage certainly. But yeah, Duran wins All-Star Game MVP. The home run contest, let's be real, the home run derby is always the actual main event of All-Star Weekend. Tio Oscar Hernandez is this year's winner. He barely beats out Bobby Witt, who nearly got the hometown win, but he barely beats Bobby. It literally came down to the last swing. Bobby almost puts it out, but it's not enough. T.L. Oscar is able to get the win, so congratulations on him. He wins the home run derby, which, new form, still mixed feelings on the format from what I've been hearing, but still is better. It's in a better state than the dunk contest. Hey, it is in a better state than the dunk contest. You still get stars that go to the home run derby, even though people are like, oh, no Judge or, no whoever. We still get some dogs. Bobby Witt Jr. might win MVP this year. So you still get some dogs in the home run derby. The dunk contest is cooked. All right, it's cooked right now. So yeah, congrats to MLB on that. However, we did have one of the worst, okay? One of the absolute worst national anthems I have ever heard played before any sporting event in my life. Now, Ingrid Andres said that she was drunk and is now going to rehab, which I commend her for. With that said, she still did perform last week, and it still was one of the worst. And I mean worst. If you have not somehow seen it or heard it, probably good for your ears, but still go back and see it just for the humor. Worst national anthems I have ever heard. It was literally my breakout laughing while watching this while I'm slightly confused. It was horrid. But I commend her once again on going to rehab. But honestly, that was the highlight of All-Star Weekend in the MLB. It wasn't anything crazy. I'm not going to lie to you. Like I said, T. Oscar versus Witt was kind of the headline, the All-Star game. Paul Skeens, though. Paul Skeens hooping and taking everybody out in inning one. That was kind of hype. I will say that. Skeens. I know everybody was like, oh, are we going to get Trout Ohtani with Skeens and Judge? And then it just didn't work out like that. But anyways, Skeens, he's up. But we talked about that last week. So yeah, that was the MLB. Time for the second half of the season. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are here for entertainment, which means it's late. All right, it's late. But we did have House of the Dragon, and nothing really happened. I'm not going to lie to you. Nothing too crazy happened this week. C-Smoke burned Lord Darkling, or Sir Darkling, should I say. Unfortunately, I think that was a great way, by the way, to show some of the dangers of trying to claim a dragon. We hear about it, but letting the audience see it, I think that was a great way. Even though sad to see a good knight, an actual good white cloak die. So unfortunate that's the way that went down. But we did see Adam claim C-Smoke at the end, so that's fun. So yeah, get to see Adam and C-Smoke. Very excited about that. Eamon is running the greens like the military. Unfortunately, the small fork, we're not rocking with that. They need their food. Somebody get Otto Hightower here stat. He didn't fall for Laris, so Laris went back to Aegon. Aegon, of course, is still half burnt to a crisp. Is in a terrible shape. Eamon made sure of that. That would be continued. But he also gave the ball back, which I don't know if that was some type of symbolism potentially with, him. Aegon said, I didn't remember anything, even though he obviously probably remembered something. But maybe if, you don't snitch on me, then, I'll remain loyal for now. So we'll see. We'll see what happens with that. But yeah, Aemon, very competent. But again, how unemotional and just his lack of empathy and how much of a psychopath he is, I think, is going to be very detrimental. As much as I love him as a character, and I talk about Aemon's aura all the time, I just, I think that could be his character's undoing right now. But he is very competent. But we will see what happens. That was a cool moment, though, with Alyssa, even though she was taking all kinds of L's, getting dismissed. Just been terrible for Alyssa. But that was a cool moment with her and Gwen. We got Darren mentioned, finally. He's getting mentioned even more. Maybe one of these days, Darren Targaryen and Tessarion will make an appearance on the show and not just be, a background character, even though they're one of the main characters in Fire and Blood. But, we are deviating from the books, obviously, quite a bit. Mysaria and Rhaenyra, though. Where did that come from? Did not see that happening until this episode. I was getting some vibes. And then, I don't know. It just, I wasn't mad at it. Daemon Targaryen, Rogue Prince, probably also not mad at it. He would honestly probably cry happy tears. It would be the best thing. Because honestly, Alice got him cooked. Alright, the man started crying. He is getting cooked at Harrenhal right now by Alice Rivers. But Alice is rocking with him. So, yeah, and we finally found out Alice definitely is real. Got mentioned by another character. So I know. A lot of people were like, yo, is Alice actually a real or a figment of his imagination? She is in fact real. But yeah, Alice helping out Damon, which is very interesting. Damon's two wives getting on, very interesting. Um, yeah, so we're gonna see what happens. What happens there in the books? The infidelity happens with another, or suspected infidelity happens with Damon's side of the marriage with another character who is very integral, by the way, to the story, but for some reason has been cut for God knows why. God knows why is she was cut. But I won't mention that storyline because it's being given to Reina. I don't need the romantic aspect, but most of her story apparently has been given to Reina. So we will see. Also, I guess that's a spoiler for what happens with Reina. But anyways, I'm sour. I'm very sour about said person being cut because I don't know why. It feels very much so like they're trying to make they're really trying to push the blacks is like this. I don't know. I don't like it. But my Saria and Ray, very very interesting. But like I said, a lot of setup. It was another setup episode, which two back to back makes it feel like filler. But I think it's still important. We're pushing the narrative. I'd rather have too many episodes than not enough. So yeah, I'll take it. I'll take it. But nothing crazy. And it paled in comparison to the boys this week. All right, the boys won the series off. All right, and it was a hell of a season finale for 2 years. We do get Gen V next year, but it was a hell of a one to go out on. I'm not gonna lie to you. Venom Butcher was in fact correct. He takes out Vic. I'm honestly, I was very sad about not seeing Claudia on my screen anymore. But yeah, she had the no good, very bad day. Powers got revealed by Homelander. Then she just lost everything. Because now she's a soup that kind of messes up her campaign and trying to be prez. And then she almost becomes prez, but that fails. And then she goes to, meet up with the boys and possibly join them. But then Butcher arrives and kills her. And then after she dies, her daughter gets sent away to Red River. So it's just no good, very bad day for Victoria Newman. And yeah, very shocking way for her to die after being perceived as probably the second most dangerous soup besides Homelander. And possibly one of the only people that could be Homelander. So, yeah, I guess a lot of responsibility going to fall on Marie. Shout out to the Gen V cast. We got to see Kate and Sam. And I think that was a really cool way to show how powerful they are, them taking out Kamiko and Frenchie, who finally got together. And, of course, they get ripped apart because nothing good can happen on this show. Same thing with Starlight and Huey. Huey finally stops taking L's. At least they're leaving together. And then I think Emma, or whatever, Evil Magneto, shows up, which I guess Evil Magneto is normal Magneto, but the boys' version of Magneto shows up. She's aligned with Homelander. She throws a fucking boat. She throws a fucking boat at them. Takes Huey. Starlight, however, gets her powers back, and she looks very powerful, by the way. So she might be being set up to take on Homelander and I guess Butcher, because he's very much so in the gray area between hero and villain at this point. But yeah, a lot of stuff happened. And Mim and Love Sausage continue their never-ending saga because Love Sausage kidnapped Mother's Milk. So, yeah, maybe he should have left. But, the boys would have been cooked in that situation. But yeah, everybody's split apart. Everybody's in different situations. Soldier Boy found by Homelander, who looked very happy to see his father, though his father was not rocking with him. So, yeah. A-Train is still out there. Ashley took V, so her mind looked like, yeah, gonna be interesting what happens there. But yeah, a great season finale for the boys. And yeah, set up everything. Very interesting to see what Gen V does. I wish Chance was not dead. Oh, because I would have loved to see what kind of Andre plays and, what part he would have played. But unfortunate situation. But yeah, the boys, hell of a season finale. They definitely won the TV series off of the two great, legendary shows. They definitely won the battle this week. Music, very big week of music. I reacted to a lot of it. So if you want to check others' reactions, go check that out. I won't give out any ratings this week, but I just will talk about the albums. Walk by NCT 127 would have been one of the highest rated albums I've ever done. I'm going to be completely honest with you. Very, very high. Album of the year territory because it had Raindrop, which I'm going to be honest with you, might be the greatest song of all time. Gas, which also, very good song. Orange Soul, and of course the title track, Walk itself, on the same album. And the rest of it was good as well. It was just incredible stuff. I had to give my hats off. All right, it was beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. A great way to start the week. All right, from NCT 127. But yeah, absolute fire. Super duper cosign. Would have been one of my albums of the year if I properly rated it. SKZ also dropped a tremendous album. Chick Chick Boom. Reacted to that. Of course, that was a collaboration with Wolverine and Deadpool, which comes out next week. We'll be talking about that then. But yes, very good album. I do want to say, Nobody does the intro like SKZ. They continued that with Mountains. That was one of my standouts, and it was the first song. Again, nobody knows how to set that tone like SKZ. Jimin dropped Muse, which wasn't as long as 8 or Walk by the aforementioned groups, but still had some very good stuff. I think Who, which was literally the side track, reacted to that. It's probably my favorite song on the album. Be Mine was also very, very good. So yeah, Jimin had some good stuff. A lot of y'all wanted me, again, a lot of y'all watched that video, which is super duper appreciated. A lot of y'all wanted me to react to some of the other stuff on the album. So yeah, I think we'll probably add that to the queue. And I'm sure Jimin's gonna drop maybe some like performance videos or something else with it. So if so, we'll knock into those. If not, we might just react to the B-sides, do a rarity for Jimin. But yeah, very solid project, very very solid project from him. Childish Gambino, Donald Glover dropped his last album under the Childish Gambino moniker. I was mixed on it. I'm not gonna lie, I was mixed on it. I think if I was a bigger Gambino fan into his music, I think I would have rocked with it more. I also think that I've been playing Oakland so much recently that I'm so like into like R&B Gambino that when I didn't get that here, it was like a little bit of a letdown. Not even like one, like it was a little bit of a letdown. Though I will say, In the Night, for Georgia and Amari was pretty close. That was one of my standouts, or my standout track, should I say, off of Brando, Stone, and The World. But yeah, I feel like Gambino fans, it was probably satisfying for the fans of his usual type of music. He takes, risk. He takes the usual, deviates from what you would normally expect out of a hip-hop artist, because I think he's a little bit more to that, to be completely honest with you. A lot of this was almost alternative. So yeah, I mean, I feel like like I said, if I was a bigger Gambino fan, I think I would have liked it more. But for me, personally, it was a mixed bag. It was a mixed bag. But, his last albums aren't usually Magna Cartas, so yeah, or Magnus Opus, should I say. So yeah, we'll see. And again, we'll see if, that's the last as Gambino, and maybe he drops music under a different moniker, or maybe as Donald Glover himself. So yeah, we'll see what happens there. But Gambino's last album, mixed for me. But like I said, Deadpool Wolverine next week, very excited about that. I'm actually off on Friday, even though I'm moving from this house next weekend. I will be going over to see that at some point in time, because X-23 is back, and honestly, if I wasn't sold already, I'm sold on that. They might save Marvel, honestly. They might save Marvel from the ditches, but we will see, and we'll talk about that next week on Entertainment. All right, ladies and gentlemen, this is the first ever, I think this is, did we do one for the WNBA draft? We may have done one for the WNBA draft, but is this the first ever full like WNBA segment, like regular WNBA segment I've done? Maybe I did one earlier in the year, but I think this is the first one. I think the last ones I've like included in like just basketball. I included with the NBA. But yeah, first ever WNBA segment. It's well deserved, all right? Well deserved, because the WNBA has been electric. Of course, that's somewhat due to the rookie class. But also, we gonna talk about it. All right, we're gonna talk about it. They had the best. Between them and the MLB, I'm not gonna lie, the WNBA All-Star Week had way more motion. All right, way more motion. Shout out to Alicia Gray, by the way, for winning both the skills competition and the three-point contest. I didn't put that in my notes, but I did remember that. So yeah, that was absolutely disgusting. The game. Wow. Wow. Yeah, the game was, it's actually not the first time, believe it or not, this has happened. But Team WNBA, the WNBA All-Stars, that didn't make Team USA, beat Team USA. Yeah, 117 to 109. And I tried to tell y'all. I tried to tell y'all. So I wasn't surprised watching the game. I wasn't surprised looking at the box score. I wasn't surprised when the highlights were being uploaded. I wasn't surprised at all when Arike Ogumawale was going crazy. I wasn't surprised, because I'm not going to lie, she should have been playing for another team. I still don't know why Arike did not make Team USA. Respectfully. Don't know why she didn't, and boy oh boy did she make a statement. Make a statement yesterday. 34 points, an All-Star game record for Arike. left no doubt. Okay, left no doubt. There's a glaring omission. All right. Now I know how people talk about Caitlyn was the snub or Angel was the snub. Arike was the snub. As much as I love the other two, we're about to talk about them and how much I love them. But Arike was the Olympic snub this year. Okay, no reason she shouldn't have been on the team. She went crazy in the All-Star game, and then it was perfectly fitting for the two rookies that have been the story, or one of the stories of the league this year between Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese. Caitlin didn't have a great shooting night, but then again, it's the All-Star game, and she was getting defended literally the entire court, which, gravity. But she did have 10 assists, which is the rookie WNBA All-Star record. So, there you go. Classic Caitlin. Playmaking once again. Once again. And we're going to get to it. I don't know if I talked about it last week, but we're going to talk about it in a second. But before that, Angel Reese did get a double-double. So, like I said, just perfectly fitting, Caitlin breaks an assist record. Angel gets a double-double. Perfect first All-Star game, in my opinion. We even got the, team up and everything. Y'all had to link together finally. Y'all couldn't argue with each other, the two factions. So, happy days. Happy days. But I did want to do some mid-season awards. All right, some mid-season awards for the WNBA. MVP and Defensive Player of the Year. And again, they made it very easy for me. Or at least one woman made it very, very easy for me to do this. Because A'ja Wilson is having one of the greatest seasons in WNBA history. Which is kind of funny considering the Aces have seemingly regressed as a team this year. But A'ja looking absolutely undisputably like the best player on the planet. It's not even really up for a debate. She's averaging, and I quote, 27 points, 12 rebounds. Oh, by the way, 2 steals and 3 blocks a game, which in turn would also make her my Defensive Player of the Year. So yeah, I think A'ja definitely is worthy of the double this year. Leads the league in blocks, 4th in steals, leads the league in points, and is 2nd in rebounds. That is the literal definition of dominance. All right, there's no player more dominant than her in the league. There's no player better than her in the league, and she does it both ways. So yeah, highest of compliments to A'ja Wilson. Having a historic season. Need to get the Aces back in shape, though. They've been way too shaky for, the supposed super team. But credit where credit's due. A'ja is my midseason. And probably pretty much everybody should be undisputed midseason. At least undisputed MVP. But certainly also my Defensive Player of the Year. Of course, the big debate is actually about who's Rookie of the Year. But I don't really think it's much of a debate after this past month that's been going on. Caitlin Clark is the Rookie of the Year. And I don't think it's no disrespect. I think in any other year in which Caitlin Clark probably doesn't exist, Angel Reese is, probably Rookie of the Year. Unfortunately, Caitlin Clark does, in fact, exist. What she is doing from a just playmaking standpoint is unheard of. Not just for a rookie. No. Not for a rookie. No. She's doing unheard of playmaking numbers, assist numbers, for just a player in this league. She's on pace to break, not the rookie record. No, that's going to be dead and gone. No, bar her staying healthy, she's going to break the NBA or the WNBA assist record, regardless, for a season. Probably have the highest average as well. Shout out to Tisha, by the way, who holds it currently. Basically was female white chocolate for those that have no idea. Feel free to look her up. She was going viral on Twitter, so I was it was cool to see her get her flowers. But Caitlin has just been on especially this past month or two, it seems like some switch figured out, or some switch flipped, should I say, and she's been on a different level. From a playmaking perspective, she has been the best, not rookie, once again I want to reiterate, but the best playmaker in the league. She broke the single game record with 19 I think a week ago. I don't know if I talked about it on here. I might have. I don't remember, honestly. I forgot to look at my notes. But if I didn't, she broke the record with 19, which, again, crazy. Nearly had a 2020 game. I think I did talk about it. But yeah, that alone, and then to combine that with the fact that she's averaging 17 and also 6 boards a game, that's the Rookie of the Year. All right, respectfully, that's the Rookie of the Year, because these numbers are only going to get better. Only going to get better. She's averaging 12 assists a game for the month of July. She gets a month break now to get refreshed after playing basketball for nearly 10 months. She gets a break, which you could say maybe that takes her out of rhythm, or maybe it just lets her get fresh legs again. She could end this year averaging close to double-digit assists, and that's never been done before, and not even really close. So yeah, that alone, respectfully makes her my rookie of the year. Though, with that said, Angel is having an electrifying year for a rookie. Okay, leading the league in rebounds as a rookie is crazy, no matter what league it is. And the fact that she's averaging a double-double is also something to be commended. And yeah, she's translated very, very well. Much better than, a lot of people. I probably saw this a little bit more, but I know a lot of people were a little bit kind of questioning, especially like we've said before, her offensive bag. But nonetheless, she's averaging a double-double. Doesn't matter how she's getting it. That's something to be commended. So yeah, shout out to Angel, shout out to Caitlin. But I do have Caitlin as my rookie of the year. But yeah, a very good first half of the WNBA, of a season that's been hyped like no other, and honestly is living up to the hype up to this point. But we do have the Olympics coming up, which we will be talking about here. And yeah, the Olympic break. So yeah, a little break for those rookies that have been playing for, like I said, almost 10 months. And we will see what happens in the second half for the W. With that said, ladies and gentlemen, we have reached the Roundup. And that means we have to talk about the Hungarian Grand Prix. Oh boy. Yeah, we got to talk about the Hungarian Grand Prix. It should be like happy days, honestly. Oscar Piastri just won his first Grand Prix. Unfortunately, it was marred because McLaren effed up, okay? McLaren screwed up just a little bit. They were a little fearful of, I believe it was Lewis. And they, some reason, switched the order in which Lando and Oscar were supposed to pit. So Lando came out in front of Oscar in the end. And honestly, let's be honest, he would have won the race. All right, Lando would have won this race. Oscar couldn't catch him on pace. So that was done and dusted. However, Oscar led most of the race, and that was a mess up by McLaren. So they wanted to, team orders, give the spot back to Oscar. It was this big thing. Lando was, and rightfully so. I'm fighting for a championship, a World Drivers' Championship. We've seen Max dominate the past 3 years, and I have a chance to break it. We have the best car. And I've missed so many opportunities this year. I want this one. It's what a champion is supposed to do, unfortunately, is what how he was acting. However, a champion also has to be sometimes a team player. So Lando, in the end, did the right thing, gave the spot back to Oscar, but it has to feel a little, even though, and I think it wasn't as bad as, like, Oscar is just, normally, he's like Kimi Räikkönen. He's very demure, he's very quiet, very chill. I don't want to say he's quiet, he's chill. All right, Oscar's very chill. So I don't think his reaction after the race was like because he was sad or anything. I just think he's not one of those people to be like overtly excited. But I do think it definitely dampens the win, even though a win is a win. The fact that it was like, he basically gave him the win in a way. Lando gave Oscar the win. So I think that lessens it a little bit. But Oscar Piastri has proven to be an elite talent in this game. And with the way McLaren is driving and the way that car is right now, it will certainly not be the last win for Oscar Piastri. But yeah, we have a little bit of drama from McLaren. But Max Verstappen has absolutely lost the plot. There's no other way to say it. Max has lost the plot. Full Mad Max in this. And I think this has been building. All right, he got so mad that GP was like, "You're being childish." He on the radio said, "You're being childish." Max completely lost his mind. I think it's the frustration of dominating for so long that he forgot he's reverting back to Max before the dominance, where he was talented, fast, but reckless as hell. Because he has been reckless the past couple of weeks, and it just boiled over in this Grand Prix. Just a series of events and just him bitching and moaning and crying all over the team radio today. It was unbearable. All right, it was one of those moments where it was like, okay, if you didn't see Max when he was younger and why people didn't like him then, watching this race, you probably were like, yeah, I see why people don't like Max or have an issue with Max, because he was a diva. He was an absolute diva today. From the start, claiming about, him getting run off the road and him having to get the spot back. And then it just culminated with him just dive bombing Lewis, which, again, I don't know what vibranium, what version of vibranium that Mercedes is made of, but shout out to them, shout out to the engineers. But Lewis just tanks it. But, Max dive bombs, goes airborne. He didn't even do that. Didn't even need to. Probably could have passed Lewis if he was patient and he just raced. Probably had an opportunity to do it, but lost his mind, dive bombs Lewis, nearly takes him out of the race. He ends up getting 5th. Has to meet with the steward, so I don't know if they took a time penalty. They should have. If they didn't already, I don't know. By this time you're watching this, you will have known. But yeah, Max just completely lost his head. I mean, completely lost his cool. Was just completely rattled this entire race. The entire race. And like I said, I think it's just a culmination of a lot of frustrating weeks. And maybe the pressure a little bit. Because the other thing that happened it was a horrid weekend for Red Bull. Because Checo put his car into the wall again. In Q1. I can't remember the last time I saw Checo make a Q2. Actually, not even, I'll be kind. I won't say a Q2. A Q3. With what used to be the best car on the grid. And now is, at the minimum, the second best car on the grid. And he still can't make a Q3 to save his life. Whether he wrecks the car or he just doesn't have the pace. I respectfully don't understand how he has a seat for next year. I don't. If he was not in a Red Bull and was not Mexican and had all of the Mexican money that, brings Christian Horner very much and a lot of happiness, I don't understand how Checo has a seat. We have had now 8 different winners, I believe, this year, and not one of them has been Checo. And what at the start of the season was the best car on the grid. And once again, Red Bull has all of these juniors. Hell, you could probably throw Danny Rick back in that car, as washed as I think Danny Rick is, and he probably does better than Checo at this point. It's just been pitiful. He's been out-qualified. He's even on qualifying with the worst driver on the grid, Logan Sargent. He's even on quali right now. In a Red Bull. I got no words. I have no words for Checo Perez's performance. I don't understand how he has a seat. If one person on Red Bull can explain, besides wiping themselves down with $100 bills from the merch money from the Mexican audience and Mexican fans, explain to me why Sergio Perez has a seat, I would love to hear it, because I don't know. All right, he is... Put him in the dishwasher, because he's gone. Wash. Done. Finished. It's over. It's over. Time has come and time has passed. Put him out to pasture and put one of your juniors in that seat, please. Somebody that isn't washed is Xander Schauffele. All right, he is having a year. Okay, same way Carlos Alcaraz in tennis is having a year. Same way we're talking about Carlitos. Xander is also having a year. Of course, he won the Masters. I don't know if you remember that. Didn't win the U.S. Open. That went to Bryson. But he did win the Open earlier today for his second major of the year. He had an incredible... Saved his best tennis for last, which is now 2 tournaments this year. Like I said, saved his best tennis for the Masters to close it out. And he was a closer once again today. 65, which was 2 shots better than his best competition, which was Justin Rose and Billy Horschel. So... big final round, got that 65. He wins 9 under to 7 under. So yeah, those 2 shots made the difference. But again, Xander he's been incredible. He's been incredible this year. There's nothing else really to say about it. And that's huge. Not, very rarefied air, winning 2 majors. That's usually, solidified for the legends of the sport. So winning 2 majors, that's a big, 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 big deal. So yeah, congrats to Xander for getting it done. Summer League is going on. Bronny's playing better, so I don't want to hear it. He, again, 55th pick. Alex Sarr is like 1 for 21. The number 2 pick. Number 1 prospect. 1 for 20. It's the Summer League, but 1 for 21. Ridiculous. At 7-1. Disgusting. It's Summer League, though, so, it's all right. But Bronny's playing better, so y'all can hop off. Reed Shepherd, I think got shut down by the Rockets, or at least he should be, because he is way too good for the Summer League. I'm not going to lie right now. Stephen Castle was also hooping. I think he got shut down by the Spurs. So, yeah, some of the rookies hooping, showing why, they went where they did. Others raising a lot of questions, but we will see. And like I said, it's just the Summer League. Team USA almost lost to South Sudan yesterday. I guess that's worth of comment. LeBron James, once again, listen, he's still LeBron. He's still LeBron. 2024, 39 years old, turns 40 this year. And ladies and gentlemen, LeBron James is still arguably the best American-born player on the planet. It's just the facts. Just the facts. Saves us once again. But credit to Sudan. They're building something. I know, and we had a lot of people from the 336 that were like South Sudanese, you know, ethnically, that were hoopers. And, you know, they were some of the best players in our area. So, yeah, it's cool to see it kind of translate, and now they're seeing the growth of that team. I think that's kind of a little bit of a hotbed with all the talent. Of course, they got Kaman going to Duke. So, yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. I don't think this is a fluke for Sudan. I'm not saying they're going to contend with the USA and Canada and France, but I think that's definitely a program, especially with the Wild Dane kind of heading it, that is headed in the right direction, especially with NBA Africa and the development going on there. So, yeah, Sudan, I think this was just kind of a sign of things to come. USA, though, avoids the scare, all right? They avoid the scare. What else happened? Oh, yeah. Before I finish off, Peach Jam, Knight Riders, 3 straights. All right, I don't know if that's ever been done. Somebody can tell me, but I don't know if any team has ever won 3 straight Peach Jams at 15U, 16U, and then finishing it off at 17U. Absolutely historic. But yeah, the Boozer Twins and Caleb Wilson, just different. All right, just absolutely different. They took down the Oakland Soldiers in today's game. Of course, they had the best duo in the country, technically speaking. Of AJ and Tyran, who are number 1 in this year's class and next year's class. But yeah, both of them did their thing, looked very good at times. Also, you know, didn't have their best game, so to speak. AJ had 25 on 25. Tyran, despite getting his, had some struggles, you know, just kind of out physically, and I think he's going to have to develop those other parts of his game, which he has. And again, he's 15, 16, so, you know, he has time to do. But, yeah, couldn't really be a man-child as much in this game, dealing with the size that the Knight Riders had. So, yeah, they get it done. Win Peach Jam again. Shout out to Cam Booze. In my opinion, the number 1 prospect. Not biased because he potentially is going to Duke. But, yeah, I think Cam needs some more respect for what he's able to do with his game. MVP of Team USA. And probably MVP of Peach Jam if they give it out. I think they do. So, yeah, without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you guys enjoyed. But without further ado, Ocho signing off.